like this, but have different capabilities from a SIM tool. Both markets are maturing and, as my understanding is, sort of moving into each other's turf. And as they do, you know, I think that what we're trying to specify here is almost the convergence of the two markets. But I don't know yet. Again, we just haven't gotten that far. So where we are today is we've written a paper around this architecture, and we're vetting it now. My friends at NSA and DHS have also written specifications around the Caesars architecture with the intention to port those specifications over to this architecture, the Caesars FE architecture. They didn't write the specifications initially to this because we didn't have this while they were doing their work. You know, it's hard to work in parallel sometimes. So that's where we are today. We hope, actually we plan to promise to the ISIMC that we will give them some detailed specifications for this by January 19. So can we achieve that? We'll see. As I said, for you as listeners, this is a risk. You know, I'm giving you some notional ideas. This may be completely shot down and disappear. I don't know. But I don't think so. I see big drivers, big momentum to get something done in the government. And I see this as the missing piece. And so if this fails, we need a replacement. And so we'll all work in a replacement, and we'll let you know what it is. You know, we'll have to iterate. Yes?
Peter, I know you've got to get it built first. Peace, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
When will you have a white paper that you can release to industry so that they'll have something to reply to, like a white paper / RFI or something for people to respond back?
Yeah, so I don't control when that can be released, but I can say what's been said publicly. And DHS has said publicly that they plan to do a blanket purchase agreement on something awful similar to this, and they're involved in this, and they plan to do it real soon, within a couple months. You know, will they? I don't know. That's their ball of wax. But they want to move forward quickly, and they've said so publicly. Now, outside of that situational awareness capability, we've got interfaces that I believe we can standardize on. The I-8, which is hard to see, where you have those collection systems reporting into the data aggregation system, we can leverage a lot of SCAP there. But we need a little bit more than SCAP. In fact, we would like to leverage the Asset Reporting Format, or ARF. If you're from the military, this is not the ARF that you know and love. It was created by Joe Wolfkeel, working at the NSA back then, and it was refined in the Defense Department. It was incorporated through procurement into some products and tried out. And then it was given to NIST to refactor it to make it more generally applicable to civilian government and industry as well as the military. So NIST will be releasing that ARF version next week. And ARF is, for our purposes, think of it as an encapsulator. We can encapsulate a lot of standard payloads in the ARF XML, which enables us to define a single interface for vendors to build to. Not a bunch of interfaces for different things, but a single interface with a simple two-page WSDL, a simple interface that then we can pipe a lot of different payloads through. And I think that's the answer for making it easy for the vendors. If I'm wrong, again, come tell me. We'll change things. So again, we're working on certain interfaces so that we can have a componentized approach. We absolutely want to separate the collectors from the aggregators. Here we're looking at interfaces between multiple instantiations of continuous monitoring. If you're a small organization, this may just be your continuous monitoring implementation and its interface to DHS. Or if you're a large organization, this may be all your diverse offices, large offices, may have their own instantiation of this, reporting to some central instantiation. And we're looking at those interfaces and what needs to be done there. And again, just to be honest, we're relying a lot on aggregating predefined views for this initial stage. And I am personally waiting for DHS to tell us what are those security metrics going to be. They've promised us that list of quantitative metrics. And so that will really help us define that. So, Parm, I haven't seen a sign yet. You usually have the ladies run in with big signs.
I'll show you the 5-minute sign.
She gave me that 5. Okay, she...
Sorry.
I haven't seen a single sign yet, Parm. You need to wave them for me. So given that, I guess I'll have to finish, but I'm basically done. So as promised, I am not going to get to the maturity slides. I think all of us at one point in our life, we either were internally or maybe on the externally looked somewhat like that, sort of immature. And the purpose here is to look at where we've been, where the best of breed has gotten, but where can we go? We don't want our efforts right now just to get us where people have already gotten. We want that architecture to enable future and more advanced functionality. So with that, I'm going to skip through a bunch of slides, which I'd love to tell you about. Again, acknowledge that I stole a whole bunch of ideas from a lot of people for this, which is my trademark way of doing business. And give you a chance to ask a couple questions at Parham's discretion. I want to tell you I'm doing an experiment. I've given up on mailing lists. I'm tired of creating them. I'm tired of managing them. So I got permission just to give our technical progress on Twitter. So there's the Twitter link at the bottom. You can go there with your web browser, or you can join Twitter and actually, get the tweets if you want to. But for the vendors, if you want to know, where we are in development, when things are going to be released, that is where I will tell you about them. But again, and there will be nothing personal on there. This is strictly business, low volume, and obviously no sensitive government kind of dealings, nothing management or policy on there. So with that, Parham, do we have any time for questions?
We do. Anyone have any questions for Peter?
They want to eat.
I know. All right, Peter, thank you so much.
You're welcome.